Hello students, in our today's session we will be learning about linkage, crossing over and Morgan's experiment and also about the autosomal and sex-linked inheritance which is covered in the chapter Inheritance and Variation. Students, let us know about linkage. It is a known fact that several genes are present on the chromosome. As the chromosomes are carriers of heredity, these genes have tendency to be inherent together. Such genes are called as linked genes. This tendency of two or more genes present on the same chromosomes that are inherent together are also known as linkage. Linkage was discovered in plants by Betson and Pinnett and in animals by T.H. Morgan. Here, have a look at this picture here. This is one chromosome and I have marked two genes that are present quite close to one another. These genes are called as linked genes because they are in quite close proximity and they have a tendency to be inherited together. Here, you have another example here which shows another type of linkage. Now linkages are of two kinds. We have complete linkage and we have incomplete linkage. The genes which are very close to one another, they show a phenomenon called as complete linkage. But the genes which are far away from one another, for example, these are two genes which are present on two different chromosomes. Gene 1 is here, gene 2 is here. So these genes are also not going to be linked together. Inheritance of one gene is independent of the another genes. Here, if you see two genes which are far apart on the same chromosome. Here, gene 1 and gene 2. Have a look again. Gene 1, gene 2. The genes are quite close. The genes are quite far apart. The genes which are away from one another show incomplete linkages. And the ones which are close show complete linkage. Students, let us see the complete linkage. The linked genes which are closely located on the chromosomes and they do not separate. That is, no crossing over occurs in that region and they are inherited together. They are called as completely linked or strongly linked genes and the phenomenon of their inheritance is called complete linkage. See here, I have shown you a diagram of two different chromosomes. Here you have chromosome 1 where two genes are located quite closely to one another. Same way I have this particular chromosome where I have 1, 2, 3 genes that are located together. So this forms one particular group of genes which are very close and tightly held. So if crossing over doesn't happen in this region, these genes are going to get inherited together. This is called as complete linkage. Incomplete linkage, the linked genes which are distantly located on the same chromosome and have chance of separations by crossing over are known as incompletely linked or weakly linked genes. Here, can you see this particular chromosome here? They are quite far away from one another. Suppose if a crossing over happens in this particular region, there is a chance that these two genes might get separated and go into different gametes. So these genes are called as incomplete genes and these linkages are called as incomplete linkages. Whereas complete linkages, student, you need to know that these are the ones that are responsible for inheritance of the parental trait in the offsprings. After that, you need to know what's a linkage group. All the linked genes in a particular chromosome constitute a linkage group. Thus, new traits occur in offsprings. The number of linkage groups of a particular species corresponds to its haploid number of chromosomes. Here, look at this chromosome again. Can you see gene 1, 2, 3? They are all present together and if crossing over doesn't happen in this region, they are all going to be inherited together. So these genes together, they form one particular linkage group. Now the number of linkage group corresponds to the haploid number of chromosomes. The example is Drosophila melanogaster has 4 linkage groups that corresponds to the 4 pairs of chromosomes. Garden pea has 7 linkage groups which correspond to 7 pairs of chromosome. Can you guess the number of linkage groups in humans? The answer is 23 linkage groups corresponding to the 23 pairs of chromosomes. Students, these linkages are related to our autosomal genes. In the similar way, when I had explained to you about the sex chromosomes, that is X chromosome and Y chromosomes, they contribute to a linkage called as sex linkage. So it goes like the transmission of X-linked and Y-linked genes from parents to offsprings are called as sex-linked inheritance. We have complete sex-linked inheritance and incomplete sex-linked inheritance also. The complete sex-linked inheritance that is exhibited by genes which are located on the non-homologous regions of your X and Y chromosomes, whereas the incomplete sex linkages are exhibited by the genes located on the homologous regions of your X and Y chromosomes. Why the incomplete linkages are located on the homologous regions? Because that is a point where crossing over can take place. And I have also explained to you the phenomenon of crossing over that happens at the time of gamete formations in the process of your meiosis, where you have exchange of the genetic information between the two non-sister chromatids. Non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosomes. Students, in order to understand the phenomenon of linkage and crossing over, Morgans conducted a number of experiments. Morgans used Drosophila melanogaster, which is also called as fruit fly, for his experiments because Drosophila can easily be cultured in laboratory. Its lifespan is short, about 2 weeks. Moreover, it has high rate of reproduction. Now, Morgan carried out several dihybrid cross experiments in fruit fly to study genes that are especially sex-linked. The crosses were similar to dihybrid crosses as carried out by Mendel's in the pea plant. For example, Morgan and his group crossed yellow body, white eye female, yellow body, white eye female to the wild type, which with brown bodied, red eye male, and intercrossed their F1 progenies. So this is cross 1 and cross 2, which is labeled here as cross A and cross B. He observed that the two genes did not segregate independent of each other, and as per Mendel's, we have the two genes should segregate independently, but there was no such independent segregation observed, and the F2 ratios deviated significantly from Mendel's dihybrid ratio. If you remember, Mendel's dihybrid ratio was 9:3:3:1. So they observed a lot of deviation in these particular ratios. This here is a chart of the experiments that he performed to explain his crosses of the genes that he had taken and the offsprings that he found. The similar chart is present in your textbook also. So let's see what was Morgan's observations of his dihybrid crosses. He observed that the two genes did not segregate independently of each other, and the F2 ratio deviated very significantly from 9:3:3:1. Now, Morgan and his group knew that the genes were located on the X chromosome and stated that when the two genes in a dihybrid crosses are situated on the same chromosome, then the proportion of the parental combination is much higher than the non-parental type. This occurs due to the physical association or the linkage of the two genes. So physical association is how close the genes are from one another, and if they're very close, they form a linkage. They show very few recombinations, that is just 1.3% when the genes are loosely linked. When they are strongly linked, it is 1.3%, and when they are loosely linked, then the rate of recombination was much high, that was 37.2%. For example, the genes for yellow body and white eye were strongly linked and showed only 1.3% recombination in cross 1, while the white-bodied and miniatured wing showed 37.2% recombination in cross 2. I've just highlighted that part of the cross. You can see here in cross 1, these genes were closely linked, so they showed very less amount of recombination, establishing the phenomenon that about linkages, that is, they are, since they are quite close, they get inherited together, whereas the miniature white and miniature wings genes in cross 2 are quite far from one another, and hence the rate of recombination was very high, that is 37.2%. Autosomal inheritance. The transmission of body characters other than the sex-linked traits from parents to their offsprings through autosomes is called as autosomal inheritance. So some of the characters are influenced by dominant genes while some others by recessive genes present on your autosomes. For example, we have autosomal dominant trait, that is widow's peak, Huntington's disease, recessive traits like phenylketonuria, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia. Widow's peak, a prominent V-shaped hairline. Have a look at the figure here. A V-shaped hairline on the forehead is described as widow's peak. It is determined by autosomal dominant gene. Widow's peak occurs in homozygous dominant as 2 capital W's, also as heterozygous 1 capital 1 small w. Individuals with homozygous recessive trait, that is 2 small w genotype, have a straight hairline. Have a look at the figure here again. They have a straight hairline, no widow's peak. Both male and female have equal chances of inheritance. Phenylketonuria, also called as PKU, it is an inborn metabolic disorder caused due to a recessive autosomal genes. So when the recessive genes are present in only homozygous conditions, phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme is not produced. Now this enzyme is essential for conversions of amino acid phenylalanine into tyrosine. Due to absence of this enzyme, phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine. Hence, phenylalanine and its derivatives are accumulated in the blood and are CSF. It affects the development of the brain and causes mental retardation. Excess phenylalanine is excreted in urine, and hence the disease is called as phenylketonuria. Sex-linked inheritance. The genes located on the non-homologous regions of your sex chromosomes, that is your X and Y chromosomes, are called as sex-linked genes. The traits that are determined by sex-linked genes are called sex-linked traits. The inheritance of the sex-linked genes from parents to offspring is called as sex-linked inheritance. There are two types of sex-linked genes, X-linked genes and Y-linked genes. The Y-linked genes are also called as Hollandric genes, and the X-linked genes are also called as sex-linked genes. So the Hollandric genes here, I've put it as a distinguish here. Hollandric genes are located on the Y chromosomes in male, and sex-linked genes are located on the sex chromosome or the X chromosome. And so the locations is the Y chromosomes. In both X and Y chromosomes, you have this particular locations of these genes. Now these genes are shown in male only, and these genes in both male and female. Now zygosity of these genes, it's hemizygous because Y is present only in male, and the single gene is responsible for the inheritance of this trait. And your sex-linked genes, it can be homozygous, it can be heterozygous, or it can be hemizygous. So it's basically, we are talking about XX or XY. Now here you need to also observe one particular phenomenon about our sex chromosomes. In male, you have only one X chromosome. So if the X chromosome carries the sex-linked recessive genes, then that trait is expressed phenotypically in a male, because there is no other X chromosome to suppress its effect. And therefore, hence, the sex-linked traits more frequently appear in male as compared to female. In this chart, I have put a difference between your sex-linked and autosomal genes inheritance. You can pause the video and go through this slide. In this chart here, students, I have put all the characteristics of the traits that will be shown in the different categories, like autosomal recessive traits, dominant traits, X-linked recessive, X-linked dominant traits, and the Y-linked traits. You can pause the video and have a look at it. Thank you, students. Take care, be safe, and keep learning.